Hey guys, welcome to today's cast. This video is going to be a little bit different because instead of me watching a game of two other players, I'm in this one, and I'm starting top left as core in the teal color, and Arivald, who's a returning player, he's definitely not new to the game, is playing bottom right as red. This map is Crystal Maze. It's the pro iteration of it, which means it's more balanced. And yeah, this is a very action-packed game. I've played this map a few times against Timmy Fred, and as far as I know, this is his favorite map. We see a K-bot start here from Arivald, and two mechs. I go four mexes into K-bot. But yeah, like I said, this map's got a lot of terrain. I know that you can sneak past right here and here. There's a lot of avenues where the peewees and AKs can sneak through. And it's you can't really build missile towers here very well. They're just not as useful because of all the terrain. He's got a third mechs up, and he's starting with a con. The titles here actually aren't bad. I don't believe that I actually used them this game. I should have taken these two mexes because these mexes are pretty much safe. But title I think is plus 20, which the wind here kind of varies a little bit. He's got a couple of peewees out, and he's getting his radar up. Starting with the con. I've done the 4 mech start here before, and it's a little risky because that means that I'm going to get hit first and I have to play on defense for a little bit. But if it works out, it means I've got a slight metal advantage early. But we'll see. Because up until this point, I'm still technically, I was ahead in metal production. Just because I took those 2 mexes earlier. Looks like we've got 6 peewees on the way, and I've got 5 AKs out at this point, and my commander's guarding out my lab. See the peewees coming in, hoping to raid something. Now what I should have done here is instead of controlling all of my AKs to stop one, I probably should have left these 2 down here. It works out, though. He's expanding pretty well. His commander's idle, and that's one difference is I'm using my commander to guard out AKs, and so I'm gonna have a few more AKs than him. He did take out that mech though, which hurts a little bit. So yeah, like I said, by going 4 mexes, I knew I was going to be on the defense, so I didn't even bother to send out my first AKs to attack. He marked this radar. He's really expanding out to the left real hard in my direction. It's a good aggressive move. And I'm going to clean up these peewees. Trying to sneak a couple around, but I've got a lot of radar coverage. Yep, I'm already seeing those 2 and responding. Just getting out some more cons. So he is ahead right now in metal. And I'm low on energy. That's one thing we talked about after the game was he said he was struggling with energy. We're both still on 1 lab. I really haven't expanded out very far. I'm kind of filling in these back mexes first. Looks like he's microing his units right now. So he's building the laser tower out here. LLTs are probably better on this map than missile towers, just because missile towers can't really utilize their range, and these can take a little bit more of a beating. The problem is, one LLT costs 250 metal, which is 5 peewees that he doesn't have. And I'm not criticizing this move at all, because a well-placed LLT can really stop an attack, but it is a good thing to remember when making LLTs is that 250 metal is not cheap. Ooh, looks like I'm sneaking a few AKs back here. Take this con. I do leave a nice little pile of metal here, but we're both producing a decent amount. Got more groups of AKs moving up. He's starting to fill in this bottom side. And he moved a con way up here. I'm getting ready to drop a second lab. And he's still on one lab at the moment. We're pretty even in resources. Looks like there's about to be a clash here. More AK Pee-wee action. I don't think either of us this entire game build any fighting units other than AKs and Pee-wees the entire game. It's more about who builds more and where they put them. But yeah, like I said, I learned how to play this map by playing against Timmy Fred. This is how he plays. He's better at it than I am, but this is just tons and tons of AKs. I'm on 2 labs now. Looks like he's dropping his second lab as well. Still expanding pretty far to the left. And like I said earlier, Arivald is actually pretty decent for having just returned back to the game. And this was the first game I played against him. Get some more action. Looks like I've got a pretty big group of AKs coming down this side, gonna hit his left expansion. Cut him off with this Pee-wee. That's something you can do, or AK. Something you can do is step in front of their cons as they're running, and it'll slow them down. It works really well with vehicle cons because they have a harder time turning. So if you just stick an instigator in front of or a flash in front of a vehicle con, it'll stop it in its tracks, and that's really easy to take it down. So he's actually expanding faster than I am, but as a result of that, So he'll be ahead of me in metal for a little bit, but then I take out a few more mexes and bring him back down to my level. I'm accessing metal right now, which is kind of sloppy, but I'm also dropping a third lab. He's still on 2, and he's starting geos. I got 2 attacks happening, one from the top and one from the bottom. Retreat my bottom force, as he's got a very large force of peewees here, but as a result, he doesn't have anything defending up here. Still got his other base up top. I find a lab. Still got this attack going on down here. It looks like he'll clean up this group, but he's taking a hit. His commander coming up to D-gun. He actually is going to D-gun his lab. Which is too bad, because that would have been a lot of metal. Now I'm ahead in metal. Not by much, but... And I am accessing still. On 3 labs. Dropped him back down to a 1, but he's building 1 right now. And he's also building 1 up top. Still just peewees and AKs, like I said. He's got that LLT. I'm dropping a 4th lab. And I've started expanding up top a little bit. Another thing I'm doing a little bit differently than him is I'm guarding all of my labs. And his are just kind of... Now he's guarding that one, but his other one's just making 1 PB at a time by itself. So that's why I'm able to make more AKs. Even though we were very close on metal for most of that. I'm still accessing metal. It's embarrassing. Find that laser tower. And I don't know about you guys, but when I find a laser tower, he actually shot that laser tower a bunch with his peewees there, but when I find laser towers, I like to kill them because they annoy me. I'm almost insulted that they would build one so close to me like that. So I set to taking it out. Still got his lab up here, just finished his 3rd lab, I believe. Oh, he's got disruptive 4th as well. The commander. My 4th just finished. I'm idling 2 factories right now. Oh, there we go. So got this fight happening. Was able to take out that laser tower, and he was trying to push in a little bit. Got this forward radar. That's something that I really encourage people to do is build. If you have cons that are in forward positions, build radars, because it's just it's information that I have that because he has no forward radar, he doesn't know where my units are. He has to guess, right? Even here, his closest radars are back here. So he has no idea where these guys are, other than guessing where any of these guys are. He hasn't built a radar up here, so he won't even know if I'm approaching this position. Radars are super important. So he's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 labs. And AKs are pouring in. His commander was coming down. Scared me. So I dropped these guys down. Back of his base. I'm on only 4 labs right now. So he's actually ahead of me in production with labs. But like I said, I'm guarding all of my labs. or most of my labs. This attack's still going. I hit this bottom side with these AKs. Took out a con. Probably going to clean up this whole little section here. That's going to hurt. Still accessing metal. I pretty much excess metal for like the majority of this game. He's got 2 labs up here. Oh, D-gun. Looks like I was able to take out one of the labs. So now he's back on 5 labs. He was on 6 for a little bit. He's got his peewees from up top. Starting to do some sneaky stuff up here. It's a lot of bodies. Or wrecks, I should say. That's the correct term. Yep, so I've realized he's attacking up here. Got this radar up here, so I knew that they were coming. It's got also peewees down here. So this is the only spot where I built any point defense. The entire game was just these 2 missile towers, because they have an avenue to fire from here. Oh, it looks like he snuck one through. That one's going to be annoying. I still haven't scouted this base. See, I should follow my own advice and build a radar probably like here or like behind here. But you live and you learn. Still accessing on metal, so what this peewee's doing really isn't affecting me that much. But I'm not making a lot of energy. He's still on 5 labs. And I am also on 5 labs. I'm going advanced. Pushing back this attack here. He's also hitting me with a small attack force on this side. But it's not going to get very far. He's got more peewees coming up south. And he's got a pretty big amount actually on near this side base. Or this top base, I should say. See, on a map like this, it's really difficult to cover all angles. So being on the defenses can be really difficult. Especially when you don't have good radar coverage. Which he did build a forward radar. So he knows. My AKs here are starting to get surrounded. And we're running right into a laser tower. Oh, got a couple of peewees through. Take out some of my mexes. But I'm just expanding. My metal production actually went pretty low. I'm about to find his top expansion. Before this point, I didn't even realize that this was here. Desperately bringing peewees up to stop it. Dropped another lab, so he's on 6 labs now. Soon to be 5. It's actually something interesting you can do to replace, you just have to have a unit right up next to another wreck, and it can replace the wreck. Which is a good way to keep your opponent from being able to reclaim it if you think you're not going to be able to get to it. So I was able to take out this top base, which included 2 K-Bot labs. Now I've got all my AKs coming down. My advanced lab is finished, and I'm starting to build a couple of advanced construction units. Let's build another K-Bot lab. He's on 4 right now. 5 actually. Trying to bring up a 6th again. I'm finally not accessing metal. He's got this construction unit desperately building a LLT. Keep himself safe at least. Arivald, I believe, is more of a... He plays Esk mostly, or at least he did. Like I said, he just recently got back into the game. There's a lot of action happening all over the place. He's got his commander over here, dropping a 7th lab at the same time. He says, fine, fine, too many AKs. GG's. I say, you sure? As he self-destructs. And that is the game. I wanted to feature at least one of my games on the channel since I talk a lot about Total Annihilation. But now I actually got to prove that I kind of sort of know what I'm talking about. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit the subscribe and like buttons. And love to hear from you in the comments. Have a good one.